Not sure if I said, please excuse the noise on the background. This place is hot, so we cannot survive without aircon, and I still don't have a microphone, so I need to remove this. Testing 1 2. Welcome to my channel. I go by Milano on social media platforms. This video is long overdue, and I keep on postponing it because I'm like, I need to be well prepared. But I've just answered someone, and while the information is still fresh, let me just go through it. This video is going to be about how to apply to teach in Taiwan and maybe other alternatives to those who want to teach overseas. So I am of the idea that if I don't do it, I won't do it. That's the first video I was supposed to do. So let's start here. I'm speaking specifically to people based in South Africa and Eswatini, but more Eswatini. I'll share my experience. There are different ways of coming to teach English here. Whatsoever I'll be saying is based on my experience. I understand that there are some people who leave back home without the work permit and they come and find a job here. There are some people who are hunted from back at home and then they come here and start with that job. Also here, there's the English, what's it called, foreign English teaching stream, and it's divided into different sectors. I'm employed by the government. There are others who are employed by private schools. They go to cram schools where they are teaching additional extra classes, after school kind of services. Some even go at night, they work at night. So those are options or alternatives which are out there. I'm going to speak for the one I was part of. By the way, this video is not sponsored. I'm just putting it out there. I'm hoping that every time someone asks me about the application process, I'll just simply copy the link and paste in the DM, because I've been more or less saying one and the same thing. I've also posted on my Twitter. My Twitter handle is Milano, Meelarno. I posted, also if you follow the main post which is pinned below, I attached the application website. My agent or agency, it was called Taiwan Foreign English Teacher Program, TFETP, right? And how did I find out about it? I was now ready to come and look for a job, but definitely I didn't want one back at home because of the salary and a little bit of comms which I've got with the system in general. That's me. After teaching for almost 9 years in South Africa, I wasn't ready to go and work back home as Eswatini because I know the ins and outs. Also in South Africa, I'd taken a break, but I was kind of ready to go back into teaching in South Africa, but I needed something bigger and better. So we were watching the news, and then there was the Minister of Foreign Affairs who came back after they had a trip and they'd come to Taiwan. So she was saying that there's this teaching opportunity of coming to Taiwan. Previously, I had heard about teaching overseas. In fact, I wanted to go to Korea when I finished my degrees. But I then read a few things about Korea and I was like, I'm not ready for that amount of conservativeness. Also, mentally, I wasn't ready. I think it helped for me to go to work in South Africa for the number of years, because now I am emotionally, physically, and mentally ready to be here. So if you are going to come in fresh, it's okay. You can try. But for me, personally, Korea was not going to work. Also, even now, it's still not going to work for certain reasons. And China as well. But Taiwan, for me, was ideal. There are also such positives as the fact that they've got good relations with Eswatini. This was on a Friday or Saturday, and then we were due to go on Monday to collect. They said we must come and collect application forms. So on Monday, go into Ministry of Foreign Affairs to go and collect the forms. There were no forms. We just got a piece of paper which was written a link. So basically everything was online. So I'm going to try and attach here the screen and the website, maybe somewhere this side. Or while I'm talking, you'll see some of these things coming through. The website of TFETP. But even if you go on Google and you type in TFETP, it's going to come up. The Taiwan Foreign English Teacher Program. So when I get home, the requirements, there are all these steps. you need to fill in this, you need to fill in this. At some point, the application process, you also need to do a video, a demonstration video, but it guides you throughout the process. Just be ready to go throughout the process. But before you start the process, there is a requirements section which you need to go through before you join. It says join TFETP, and then it tells you like this website of this page I've opened right now, the eligibility. You go through that. I went through the job description. I took my time to read before I started with the application process. By the time I got to application process, I was screwed up with what I needed to fix. You need to have your demonstration video, you need to have your certificates, you need to have your in South Africa I got SAYS, which is a teaching license. I don't know what they give in Eswatini, so you need to have that as well. And then in Eswatini, what we were told is that we needed to certify those copies. So we have got a Taiwanese embassy in Eswatini, that's about 300 and something. So you take all the documents you're going to need and you need to go and certify them. Also, what needs certification is including your fingerprints. You need to do fingerprints at some stage. So basically go through the requirements and then check what documents are going to be needed at what stage, and then go and prepare those documents so that when it's time for uploading, they are now here on your computer. So I would advise for you to go and certify those copies. I think also what I will do, let me go through an email which I broke down and I sent someone of the steps or stages I followed when I was back in Eswatini. So I said, first things first, visit the website agency, and if it comes or appears in Mandarin or Chinese, just go to the Google Translate option. And then the next part I said, secondly, go through application requirements tab thoroughly and prepare or get ready all needed documents for application as indicated, i.e. current passport, traveling document, your qualification, your CV, your references that will be able to be available, that are going to be able to be available when they are needed to be contacted by the agency. That's another one. There's a part where now you need your references to fill in some document on your behalf, so get them in line, the references which you've got on your CV. What worked for me, I got my references and I informed them that they're going to be contacted, and I asked them to write a reference letter of sorts, and they wrote it and they shared it with me, which was amazing. They had so many things, nice things to say about me. I was so happy. And then, so I was talking about the references back. They must be available to be contacted by the agency during the application process. Your motivational letter, you need to have that in hand. You need to have proof of working experience. My proof of working experience was my employment letter, official employment letter, was my letter of promotion when I became an HOD, and my resignation letter. So that was my proof of employment as an educator. So I submitted that. Teaching license in South Africa, I had SAYS. I used my SAYS. What else? If already qualified as an educator, that is if you're qualified as an educator. But if you don't have, then there are other options which I'm going to talk about. And then you need your fingerprints, police clearance, from fingerprints from the police station. You need also police clearance from the police station, just to name a few. That's what I said in the email. There is also a short video clip, I did speak about that, where you need to be demonstrating your teaching demonstration video, which you'll need to upload at some stage. Most of these documents, is it in PDF format, which you need to upload them in, I think. And then I said, thirdly, once all the documents are ready and are in hard copy, take them to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I forgot this one. Their contact number, this is in Eswatini, right? That's the process which I followed. Take them to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Eswatini. Their number is 20404263. I think I'll just paste this up here, what I'm reading, so that just in case I'm missing something. To be certified as true copies, ask the security personnel at the entrance as to which office deals with the teaching English application. Then afterwards, take those documents to the Taiwanese embassy for their own certification process, which usually is at a fee which was plus minus 300. I'm not sure, for sure it will change by then, but not more than 400 by the time I did it, which was last year. And then the direct Taiwanese embassy contact is 2044 Let me read it as a radio announcer. Or you can use 204-42379. 204-42379. Once all the documents are ready, you will need to scan them. Once they come back from the embassy, you'll need to scan them. Take very clear picture of it if you don't have a scanner, to convert them to PDF in order to upload them to the system. After the uploading stage, you will then follow the instructions given to the virtual interview stage. After the interview, if you make it into the program, they will email you an acceptance letter, which you can then print out and use to apply for your international passport, right? And then after getting your international passport, the school which you are going to be placed at by the agent is going to then organize your work permit, and then they send you a copy of the work permit. That takes a bit of a while when they organize the work permit, but it's a process. It doesn't happen over 1 week. So first is the application stage. Then after the application stage, you go through the interview of joining the agency. Once you make it into the agency allocates you a school. Once you have a school, the school you are allocated needs to process now your documents. And then the documents need to then be sent to the Ministry of Education, MOE, Yala, Taiwan. And then after that, the ministry is supposed to take out, or it's supposed to give you a work permit. The minimum work permit they give is for 6 months. Maximum it could be to a year. So if you are going to be working for less than 6 months, then they cannot provide. That's another reason for my delay, because I was waiting for them to process my work permit until we were halfway into the 6 months of the duration of my work permit. But now, good news, focus on the new school. They were so proactive. Everything just happened so quick. I was so happy. But this was after waiting for 6 months. Now, coming back to the process, we're done with the interview. You get the interview, you get the school. You get the school, they process your work permit. Once they give you your work permit or copy or proof of the fact that they acknowledge that now you have applied for the work permit, once they send that, then you can take that to go and apply for your visa with the Taiwanese embassy. Others do this route. They immediately, once they get their international passport, take their passport, save whatsoever money, come decide to process the rest of the stuff once they get to the school. So I'm suspecting that other schools, they say, come, let's finish off your documents here. Whatsoever works. But for me, that was my route. So I got my visa, and then this is what you need to prepare. You need to have enough money for your ticket and for accommodation. The accommodation which I was staying here, it was a hotel when I arrived. It was about 1,000 per day. It was 700 and something per day. But when you convert and you do the payment, it ended up going to something like 1,000 per day. Also, for me, it's because my current school doesn't have accommodation. Normally, schools have accommodation and they accommodate the teacher. They are not obliged to accommodate me or to find me accommodation. I need to find myself accommodation. So there's a website in one of the videos which, when I spoke about finding my apartment, I plugged it there for searching for apartments here. Another tricky part is that they speak Chinese more than English. So some of the adverts you'll see there, you'll try and respond, and you'll find that maybe they sift through just the fact that you are calling. Also, there is this line I've been talking about in almost all the videos. Download that app, have an account online, so that you can, some adverts, they just say add me online, so you add them online and then you communicate. Fortunately, with line you can also try and translate before you send, and then you're going to have better chances of securing an apartment. That is if the school does not have accommodation for an educator on school. I think that covers most of it. So the money which you use for coming here, they reimburse you according to the contract. You get reimbursed that money. So I normally advise people to maybe take a loan before you go. If you are resigning from the pity that the process of getting your package takes a while if you're resigning from a formal work environment. But be rest assured, part of the contract says they reimburse you your flight ticket, return, so going to and coming back. But I bought coming here, so I'm going to see how the reimbursement is going to happen this time. But I've submitted my documents because you need to submit your proof of buying the ticket. You need to provide your ticket stamps, and they'll take copies of your stamp of your passport when you submit that when you get to the school. So don't stress about it. I think your director or whoever is going to help you to compile that. But I was just giving an idea that the kind of money you will need, and then you obviously need some surviving money. I did speak of money in my previous video. I think that breaks it down. So if per day a meal, a plate, I'm just giving an example, shisanyama or plate of bomama banga labatensago on the street costs something like 50, depending on where you are. Maybe 25, no, 25 is too cheap. Let's say 50 rand. So even here, that's approximately the price. The food goes for 90, 80 Taiwanese dollars, which is equivalent to 50, 60 rand. So if you've got $100, you can get a meal, and soft drink is 35 Taiwanese dollars. So it's about halfway of that. So yeah, with $100 you can, so let's just say deliberately $200 for meals per day until you get sorted. My situation is also very unique because I'm in Taipei. Taipei is, if I notice, Iskola Essenten basically. So even my staying, for me to be closer to Senten, the 4 ways rental places, I'm in that situation basically. So even the prices in the shops, they're like that. So it's more advisable to go to other counties wherever you want to. But for Taipei, the one challenge is that it's a tourist, it's Senten Yakona, let me leave it at that. So yeah, the video is now at 20 something. I'm thinking of ending it, but before I end it, let me just go through something. Oh yeah, on my Facebook, I've got a new Facebook account for Teacher D. It's Teachered. It's Teacher D, but they couldn't space the D, so it's Teachered. I posted a YouTube channel here. Her name is Judicious Masuku. I think I'll take a screen grab and post it somewhere. Please do follow her. She posted a number of interesting videos which can accommodate those who do not have a degree, because this one, the requirement is that you must have a degree. Foreign teachers, you need to be from a country which speaks English, or an English speaking nation. So South Africa and Swaziland, you are covered. You need to hold a bachelor's degree from any accredited university or college. So you must go through the list to check, because that's one thing I discovered, that some universities, I think UNISA is not recognized. Just check that. And then for teaching qualification, one needs to meet the requirements, hold a state issued teaching license. If you don't have a teaching qualification, you can become a teaching assistant. So the same requirements. You need to be coming from an official language, which is English. South Africa, Swaziland, we're covered. And then you need to have a bachelor's degree from any accredited university. Applicants should also provide a police check. So basically, if you haven't taught before, you can become a teaching assistant. It also pays well. Check it out on the website here, FETP. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I hope this information was informative enough, and if there are any questions or clarity, please go ahead, ask here below in the comment section. Hopefully I'll do a video or even respond immediately. Otherwise, yeah, Unitanda. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video.